Okay, my claim I will be refuting today is the United States drug policy over the past 4 decades has caused more harm than good. Robert Black starts off by introducing that over the past 40 years we've spent over $1 trillion and 40 million arrests. And in fact, nothing in this world is free. It's going to cost money. In 2007, the Bureau of Justice arrested 1,841 people for drug violations of some kind, which in other words, they're not going to be in your neighborhood or around you. Next, he goes into 5 points, which are the drug policy, drug dealers, drug trafficking, money spent on drug enforcement, and drug use. In his first supporting claim, he claims that the speech being made by Ronald Reagan, which is, we've turned the corner on drug addiction in the United States. Drug addiction in the United States is under control. He establishes that it's simply not under control, that it hasn't gone anywhere, which is basically an assertion. Since then, the federal government have created task force, local police, gang units, and other federal programs such as the DEA, which is the Drug Enforcement Agency. He continues on saying that the DEA will never be able to significantly stop the supply or demand anytime in the future. Well, according to the DEA's website, just on one drug I just chose, marijuana, in 2008, 6,600,000 kilograms was seized, but in 1999, 127,000 kilograms of marijuana was caught. So if you look at there, it's even though it's over a course of years, it's a big difference. Then he goes on to another supporting claim that because the large profits of the drug cartels have just as much access to the same resources as governments, therefore they increase technology, increase distribution, increase customers' capability, and family increases corruption. According to the statement, basically is saying that it increases corruption and technology. When technology is available to anyone, a GPS, woohoo, they can use it now to go from point A to point B without a map, without getting lost in faster time. It's available to anyone, so I don't see how that's really relevant. Then he goes on to corruption. Well, corruption isn't just caused by money. It has other factors involved, which and then an example would be Bill Gates. If Bill Gates wanted an elephant, he wants an African elephant that's illegal in the United States. He goes in and pays off everyone in customs to bring it in. Do you really think that's going to happen? Do you really think you'd be able to get away with that? The answer is no. Drug trafficking. He goes on to drug trafficking, his third supporting claim, and he states that these drugs are illegal. They create high profit because they are illegal. Efforts to prohibit just increase their value. It's simple economics. If it's harder to get it, the price is going to go up. There's no claim there. It basically invalidates it. And if the price is going higher, that means there's less drugs on the market. Then on money spent on drugs, his fourth claim, much money on the fight on war on drugs when, there should be more money spent on preventing the demand rather than spending on putting them in the prisons. That's actually not true. One state in particular, just California alone, on November 7, 2000, California's voters passed Proposition 36, the Substance Abuse and Crime Prevention Act, which basically says any non-violent felony or misdemeanor drug possession charge for being under the influence of drugs, placed on probation, or ordered into a drug treatment program for 1 year. So basically, we've already started that process. And in conclusion, the United States of America has been around for over 200 years. Issues similar to this have come up. An example would be the slavery. For 98 years, since the country was born, we had slavery until the 13th Amendment passed. In the meantime, we had a civil war. It just got worse and worse before it even got better. That's just one example of one thing that got worse before it got better. However, by the evidence, statistics, and statements that I've shown you, you can see how the war on drugs has made significant progress and it has not caused more harm than good. Thank you.
Okay, you had a partial layout of the points at the beginning of the speech. I thought your signposting as you went from point to point was a little bit clearer. Your challenge on the first point is that the advocate is largely asserting their point, and then you list law enforcement efforts in response, and you've got some information about marijuana seizures, which I think would be more useful if you could get the numbers straight and we could clearly make a comparison. Because from the way you read the numbers, it was not clear to me whether they went up or down, the seizures and the amount of marijuana that's been confiscated. Transition to the second point was not quite as smooth. You get on this idea of technology, but I'm not sure what it gets you in making that argument. The corruption issue, I'm not sure how the Bill Gates and the elephant applies to the argument that you're making here. It doesn't advance a claim that I think you're going to get much mileage out of. The third point is more clearly cited. I guess there's an indication that if prices are going up, that's an indicator of availability, so we must be having some impact on interdiction and reducing the amount of drugs that are available. That's the only inference I can draw from that, and I didn't think it was quite as clear as what I just said. On your last point, I thought you did have a good counterexample talking about California's Proposition 36. The slaver analogy that you use at the end, I think the point you're trying to make is that all change is a struggle and it's often difficult before we finally achieve an objective, but that doesn't mean that we should quit early. That needs to be a little bit clearer, because otherwise it's just confusing. All right, thank you.